All right, guys, we're gonna get started now. We're going on month number 9. No, month number 8. As of 3 days ago, we started month 8. This will be our 9th community meeting. Russ is gonna go over some server stats. Benny's gonna talk about crime. Laney's gonna talk about PD stuff. Ray is going to talk about cars, and then I am going to talk about all the updates and businesses and whitelisted gangs and all that at the end. Just want to thank everyone for taking the time to be here, and we'll get started.
All right, so as of this 8 months that we've been open, we've had a total of 3,847 players. The total playtime for the server has been 46 years, 276 days. So we have almost 47 years of cumulative playtime here at Horizon so far. Another thing that we want to let people know about is that our ranking for TX admin, TX admin does a ranking of their servers, and we have a median player of 99 players. So we average about 99 players, and our rank is number 235 in the TX admin ranking system. The ranking system, once you get under 250 or above 250, depending on how you want to look at it, you're considered a top server. So we have gotten there in the past 8 months, and we are ranked 235 right now. I'm sure I'll be talking a little more once things pop up. For those of you that were here last time, I talked so much my Discord decided to shut me down. But yeah, I'm just gonna toss it over to Benny for now, and he's got a few short things to talk about, and then I'm sure I'll pop up again here shortly.
All right. I just have a list here of a few things. First thing I'm going to start off with is if something needs to be reported, clip it, finish out your RP scene, and then open up a ticket or join waiting for support. There's been a few times, well, more than a few times, where mid RP scene somebody might break a rule, and without finishing the scene, you guys are already making a ticket or jumping into support to try and get it solved right then and there. We prefer to have everybody just finish the scenes and then come and make that ticket. Just kind of breaks the immersion when you stop paying attention to what's going on, even though a rule break happened or whatever the case may be. So I want to go off of that by also saying to stop combating rule breaks with more rule breaks. Just because somebody might have brought 6 people to a 5v5 and they broke that rule of 5, like, don't call in your 6th person, or if somebody tack flighted on you, don't tack flight on them. Like, combating a rule break with a rule break doesn't make it any better. So then to go off of that as well, when you do end up making a ticket or joining support calls, you have to bring evidence of whatever it is you're reporting. We've said it time and time again, and I know there's some new people here, so they might not have heard us say it. You have to bring evidence to these tickets and support calls because we do not operate off word of mouth. If something happens to you and you just come in and you don't take the time to actually gather the evidence and get your facts right, we can't help you out. And that's when people get upset because something happens but there's no proof of it, and we don't take their side because we can't see everything as much as we do spectate and see a lot of what goes on in the city. We can't see everything, so you have to bring proper evidence into these tickets and support calls. Otherwise, we can't do anything about it. So from there, before I get into some crime things, I will say there's been some good citizen RP going on right now. For example, Eli, I'm sure you guys all see the tweets and yellow pages about his boat expeditions and taking people out to the different diving spots around the city. We love that type of stuff around here, and pretty soon you're going to see, what he's been rewarded with for being, a good role player and not just, you know, out there doing crime or being a cop or, whatever the case may be. He's actually providing some citizen RP, which, brings a good balance to the city. So we'd like to see a lot more of that in general. And he did it without any scripts or mechanics that we added into the city for him to do what he's doing. He just, came up with it based off of what is already in the city and made it work. So going forward, we'd like to see a lot more of that.
That's how you get a business, man.
That's how you get a business, and soon enough, you'll see Eli's new and improved business, and because of his good RP with what he worked with, he's being rewarded with you know stuff to help him improve that business, and make it even better. So let's see some more citizen RP from everybody, and let's get some more natural businesses started. Because that's also how the used car dealership started, as a lot of you guys know. They did great work in the beginning of the server, and now they have a business. So we reward good RP.
We've been using that example for about 6 of the 8 months so far.
Yep, it's
Um,
just really good.
yeah, and just to go off the business thing real quick as well, I don't know if Gab had anything on this, but the businesses will start to pick up on the applications outside of the legal marijuana businesses. Those kind of took precedent over everything. And so, yeah, just moving forward, the business applications will start to get looked at a little more heavily here in the near future once the medical marijuana thing and those businesses get implemented. Implementing that specific thing to the city is going to open up, I think, 6 new businesses and 6 new business opportunities for people. And I think most of those have been claimed and whatnot. I'm sure Gabba, again, will have more information on that later when he talks. But just want to let everyone know that, like, custom creative businesses that you want to create on your own, and those types of things will start to get looked at a little more heavily here very shortly, now that we're through with all the medical marijuana stuff.
All right. So the first thing I'm going to start off with in terms of crime is about using citizen job items as weapons for your crimes. There's a few jobs around the city where you can get, once you start the job, you'll get an item, such as the logging axe. If you are using that logging axe as a weapon to kill somebody that's not a tree, which is what you're supposed to be using that axe on, is a tree. If you're using it to kill people, it's considered powerful. A lot of those items when we started the city weren't looked at to be items that people were going to use as weapons, so the damage on them may have been at one time a little stronger than it should have. I don't know if it's been fixed, but I'm sure it's going to be fixed. So going forward, stop using these items that you get from a legal job in your criminal activities and endeavors and whatever you want to call it. Just stupid. That axe is used for cutting trees, not cutting arms off people. Now, if you want to, have an RP scene where you bring people out and you want to you already captured them, you want to role play that you just cut someone's hand off or something. I don't know. As long as there's role play involved, we can probably look past it. But if you're strictly using it to just kill people because it's an easy way to kill
one
somebody,
shot, yeah.
You will be punished. Next up is gunplay over roleplay. We've been seeing a lot of that. There's been no storyline to a lot of the shootouts that have been happening. People are just shooting to shoot at people because it's fun, and they played arenas for however long, and they've been in other servers that, it's just, oh, I'm cool, I can kill you. You told me to go fuck myself, so I'm going to shoot you. That stuff is stupid. It's not what we promote here. We promote roleplay. If you're going to shoot somebody, you better have a good reason to shoot somebody. Just have more storylines, then he told me to go fuck myself, and now I'm gonna go kill him 3 times in the next 2 hours because I'm on a power trip. We got to stop the gunplay over roleplay. It's just getting boring and unoriginal. You're not, you know, I don't want to sound like an asshole, but you're not, as tough as you sound if all you're doing is playing Grand Theft Auto roleplay to play GTA Online. It's 2 completely different things. We need to start having more storylines with our shootouts, which leads me to my next point of no storylines. The days of gang hopping are over. You are no longer allowed to leave a gang and then join a new gang the next day. That is also stupid. It has no story. If there is no build up to you joining a new gang, don't do it. We are monitoring this type of stuff now, so if you are caught, for example, if you're a Bala and 2 days later you get kicked out of the Ballas and you're now a Vago, we will be having a talk with you because it doesn't make any sense in RP. There's no roleplay behind that. Gang hopping is pointless. Next thing on my list here is using emotes in gunfights. That is power gaming. If you are caught using your pass out emote on a roof to get down behind a wall faster than using the crouch function that's actually in the game, you will be punished. It's power gaming. Again, this is not arenas. This is not 100k or die. This is a serious roleplay server. We are not abusing mechanics to get an advantage in a gunfight. It's pointless. It's stupid. You're going to catch a ban. Just don't do it. Speaking of arenas, if you're in a gang war or a conflict and you're calling in your buddies that have never played in the server because they're good shooters and you want to win a war, you will be punished. As a whitelisted gang, especially, you should not be doing this. You'll get strikes, and eventually, if you keep on doing stuff like that, you're just going to lose your whitelist. Calling in arena shooters for wars and conflicts is stupid. It defeats the purpose of the entire war because there's no story with those people. They have no idea what's going on. Their sole purpose is to come and shoot, and that's it. So from now on, if you find out anybody's doing that, not only will they be banned, but you might catch a ban. So be careful who you bring in for your wars because it should only be the people that are actually there for the story.
You shouldn't be bringing anyone in for your wars.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
It's just ridiculous. Does anybody else have anything on crime before I go into some refund stuff?
Other than the specific things you've mentioned, it's pretty obvious, guys. If it looks like an exploit, it smells like an exploit, don't do the fucking exploit. Is the king rule for all of that.
Yeah, if you find an exploit, report it. If you find an exploit and you don't report it and we find out you were exploiting that exploit, you're going to get banned. Simple as that. Okay, I'll just go over the refund policy we have here. We do not do refunds for user error. The only refunds we do are server-sided errors. If you're moving in your stash too fast and you're clicking around and you're doing all this weird stuff and something poofs out of your pockets, that's not our fault. For people that are new here, don't move too fast when you're moving stuff out of your inventory or your van or your truck or whatever it is. Take your time. These 5M servers they're not, perfect. They will get a little scuffy. So if you take your time and you move things around slowly, there's a 99% chance that your items are not going to poof.
Just to add on that real quick, if you're putting stuff away in your apartment 3 minutes before tsunami, it's not going to be there when you fly back in. How this works is when you put something in your inventory, it has to talk to a database. The database updates every 5 minutes. So if you do something and then fly out a minute afterwards, there's a chance that you're not going to have that item when you come back. We're not going to refund for that. There's no way around it. It's the same in every 5M server on Earth. It's just how the tech works. So please, pay attention to the tsunami warnings. Put your stuff away, 10 minutes before at least, just to be on the safe side, and you shouldn't have any problems.
I'm going to mention something that I'm seeing questioned right now, and it has to do with exploiting that Benny just talked about. I just see this question about, are we ever going to get shark hunting back? Shark hunting has been around since the hunting strip has been here. For those of you that might have any shark meat in your stash or go to try to sell that shark meat, you are going to see a lovely price for that shark meat. And like I said, I'm only bringing this up because we just talked about exploiting. I'll just straight up say it to everyone for transparency's sake. We had people who were shooting silenced weapons out in the water and exploiting the fact that these sharks would just infinitely keep spawning in the same area. So again, it's up to everyone to either let us know things like that are going on. People who have been around who know the economy, and people who haven't been around that get an idea what our economy is and isn't supposed to be should probably realize that making 200 grand every 2 hours is probably not something that we wanted to happen in this city and for our economy. So as things like that pop up, we make changes on them, and that is one specific one that has happened recently, and that is why that shark price is not gonna get you very much money these days. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say on that.
I think that was my list. Let me just double check. I just want to reiterate, please bring evidence into support tickets and support calls. Otherwise, you're not going to get the answer you're looking for at the end of the day. I know it sucks when something happens to you, and I know some people can't record things and clip things, but it's just the way we operate. We can't work off word of mouth, because if somebody comes in or makes a ticket and they don't have evidence of it, and we go and punish somebody without having any evidence, and it turns out to be the wrong decision, then it's an even bigger issue. So we require evidence for any sort of rule break ticket that you make. So just keep that in mind going forward. That's all I got. Thanks, everybody.
All right, Laney's going to talk about PD stuff now.
What's up? Couple quick things, not too much, but they are kind of big. Is BCSO is now open, and there is, if you guys drive through Sandy, you'll see the new sheriff's office is up there, the new MLO for that, as well as the new medical center and stuff. Give things time. All this stuff was just put into place. Give things time for that to kind of all that stuff to start to develop. That's both PD, and then that's also on the EMS side. I have no clue what the EMS side is, so I'm not going to speak for them, but I'm just saying, give it some time to develop and let that stuff kind of become. Tomorrow at 7 p.m. EST, the mayor will be swearing in the new sheriff at the courthouse. It is kind of a community event, so I just wanted to emphasize that as well. Would love to see people go there, hang out. One thing I do want to emphasize now that we have another law enforcement department in the city is that there is not going to be a direct application for BCSO, and it's going to be the same thing for SASP whenever that becomes a thing. Everybody, all the training and stuff is going to go through LSP. So that's why you'll see only a LSPD application. You still have to do your training, build up within there, and then you'll have the option to transfer to these other departments. So I don't want to see a bunch of things in general or support, even tickets open, asking why there's not any applications for it. It's because that is for a purpose, and then the purpose is that we want everything to start with LSPD and then allow people to kind of move off from there. And now another really cool thing that was just added is a community service option. This is something that law enforcement can now give criminals. The exact guidelines / SOPs for this have not been fully written out. It's still, a work in progress. And so that, excuse me. But it is a really cool new script that just came in, and it gives an option rather than having people who have low sentences or they're getting charged with something that's like 12 months. Instead of doing something like that, you can be given community service. That way you're not just sitting in the holding cells for that time just to get your time served and whatever. So there's not going to be too many more details on that. That's more of a find out in RP thing. So that's all I have for the PD stuff. The other thing I wanted to mention is we are still accepting staff applications, and yes, there is a lot that are currently in. I think we have 10 in that are right now. I do want everybody to know that did apply, that we have acknowledged it. We have it written down. Don't worry, I'm going to be kind of heading that, and I'm going to be getting started on staff applications come Monday. So it's obviously going to be first come, first serve with those interviews and such, but do want everybody to know that we are still looking for staff, and that the people that did put in the applications, they are looked at, and we're going to be getting to those this upcoming week. But
I do want to piggyback off the staff applications real quick.
Yeah.
We have had people, and this is nothing against anyone, this is just something that I feel like I have to mention. As a staff team that is already here, the additional staff that we would like to have are people that are have been here within the community. So it's happened a couple times, and like I said, this is no negative shot at anyone, but it's happened on a few occasions where literally it's their first day in the city, they just joined the Discord, and they put in a staff app. Those things are probably not going to be accepted for the most part.
Never.
We want people who are part of the community, people know who have an idea of how our community works, and things like that. So if you just join the server, you put a staff app in and are kind of expecting to get something back from that, it's one of the very first things we all look at during these applications is, when did this person join the Discord? We've had people who haven't even flown into the city yet making staff applications, and it's just one of those things that I wanted to mention so people are aware of that.
Perfect. All right, Ray's going to talk about cars now, and then we'll finish up.
Cars, right. So I'll start off with the shader crashes with cars. So we had a few problem vehicles, one being the Astrope, which we removed from the city, but then we found out there's actually other vehicles which had the same issue. So unfortunately, the DirectX update, which happened a couple of weeks back, maybe up to a month ago, was messing with a format type and a texture. Those textures have now been put to the right one, and we know going forward. So any vehicle-based DirectX crashes won't be around anymore. If you are still like getting those shader crashes, don't overload us. Like once we kind of have one, we're going to be able to look at it and go forward. We have identified a few other ones which we're going to be looking at, but for the time being, don't worry too much about sort of like putting them all in unless you see something in particular that is mentioned a certain thing. But in terms of cars, obviously Blaine County just had their new vehicles with the new Interceptor and a new SUV. So those will be coming in. We also have, I've got 8 or 9 cars coming in for the various dealerships and mechanic shops. And the MCs, I know, will be very happy to hear that the motorbikes are getting a bit of an overhaul. So I'll be starting off with choppers and cruisers. So because I know a lot of you guys, you may have like someone on the back, and when you have someone on the back of a bike, you probably lose anywhere between 10 to 20 miles an hour. And if your bike's already only doing 95, that is really slow. So I will be looking at that. So once those MC bikes done, just so you got like a rough idea of where the plan's going, those motor bikes will get priority, and then the other sports bikes will be done as well. And the whole point of that is down the line, I'll be able to remove the fact there'll be all the bikes can have upgrades besides turbos. But that is not yet. The same stuff still applies. Sports bikes can only get brakes, and then choppers and off-roads can get all upgrades apart from turbo. I'm very happy to announce that we've just taken on someone who can help with custom vehicles. So, as you know, we're trying to take a big step away from any branded stuff being in the city. So that's the reason why we changed the PD fleet, the EMS fleet. I'm about to change the towing, and I'm about to finish doing the trucking as well. That means that all branded vehicles will be out. With that said, doing a bit of digging and speaking to a lot of other car developers in the community, including some of the ones over at NoPixel, we seem to have a small go-ahead on the ability to debadge certain real-life brand vehicles and bring them in. That won't be happening straight away, and it will take time. It will take effort. That's pretty much on that front. Balancing of certain vehicles. As much as I want to hear feedback from everyone, don't DM me. Go make multiple general tickets about it, because I need to be taking feedback from sort of like certain individuals. And that's no offense to anyone. It's just so I get the same sort of style of feedback. They know the sort of feedback I want. And then from that, we're going to make all the things much more balanced. The other thing I need to do, obviously, with the bringing out of certain custom vehicles, is they are not in the racing tablet with the correct classes. And obviously, that will affect how you do certain races. And I'll get those amended by the end of the week, next week. And then, yeah, the racing scene will be a lot more clear in that respect. The idea, Jimmy, with the trucks being swapped out, we are going to obviously test it on the dev server first and make sure there's no issues, which is always fun with that tracking script, because it seems to wipe the database and try certain stuff with it. But the idea is certain trucks will be in that rank. So if you had one of that rank, it'll switch to that particular truck. So yeah, I'm trying to think if I missed anything out. I don't think I have.
I think that's it.
Just before we switch topics here, can we please, that community meeting chat is not for you guys to go back and forth in with your guys' egos. It's to ask questions. Please. I've already moved it up to 30 seconds. I don't want to have to move it up anymore for the slow. Please just ask questions in there, guys.
Well, let's be adults. That's why it's 18 plus, because we don't want to deal with kids. Okay, the fun stuff.
Mike, before you go,
What's up?
I have one more thing about PD that was messaged to me that I forgot to mention. LSPD does have a complaint form in the website in the documents area. We do want people to use it if you're having issues with an officer, because I know our HR and stuff isn't always around, and there's IA, stuff like that. So if there is issues, it is a in-character thing. So when you use the complaint form, we know if we start to see OOC issues and toxicity and stuff like that through that, there will be repercussions for that. But I do want everybody to know that that is a thing, and that's just one of those better ways that we can kind of solve some of the issues that we've been hearing. We have like a 80-person roster in LSPD alone. So there's a lot of people. We can't keep eyes on exactly everybody at the same time. So if there is an issue that you see, anything like that, please use the LSPD complaint form. But please, again, do not abuse it. That's all.
All right, so I'm going to talk about one thing, and then I'll go into all the fun stuff. This is very, very important that we correct very quickly, and it's the OOC bullshit. Okay? Everyone in this community comes here to escape reality. If you bring your reality into city and try to make it other people's reality, it causes a lot of problems. The constant, complaining about people's streams, talking OOC in city has got to stop. We are going to start banning people for this. It's becoming a problem again. I don't know if you guys remember that have been here for a while, but about 3 or 4 community meetings ago, it was not pleasant. You guys had to sit here for an hour and a half and listen to me bitch about all the things that were going on in the city. And after that community meeting, the city made a 180-degree turn. We need to make that turn again when it comes to OOC. It's got to stop. Has to. Again, we're going to, as a staff team, start monitoring it more than we already have been and taking the appropriate actions against people who cannot figure out that this is a fucking video game and everyone here should be here to have fun. That's the bottom line. And if people around you are causing you not to have fun because they're putting their problems on you, it's an issue. So again, please stop the OOC. We're all here for the same reason, to have fun. All right, fun stuff. Optimization. I know that the changelogs have been a little slower over the past 30 days. Those of you who already know, I am working. I promise you guys, there's been a ton of optimization I've been doing. Obviously, I'm not going to post in the changelogs every little thing that I'm doing, but work is definitely getting done. We recently went from 150 to 175. I know the queue has been insane. It's always been my goal to continue to raise the city population, but client-side stability is always going to be the most important thing. Kind of to piggyback off of Ray talking about the shader crashes, this is a 5M wide issue. It's not just Horizon. DirectX did an update, and whatever they fucking did in their update caused a lot of problems with different model compression formats for MLOs, for clothing, for cars. So we'll continue to, root out the issues and try to fix them and, monitor going forward what's going on with the shader crashes. I'm sure there's going to be a patch for DirectX 11 or 5M server artifacts, which will fix it in general. But for now, we just got to deal with it. It sucks, I know, but it's just one of those things that is completely out of our control. I don't own DirectX and I don't own 5M, so I can't, go in and fix their issues. We can only try to fix the ones we have that is caused by them. We got 2 new developers that we brought on. One of them is a community member, a longtime community member. You guys might know him as Flextown. He's got a lot of experience. It's really great to have him on board. And then we have another developer that just started. His name's Inferno. Some of you might have seen him in tickets already. He is an expert. He is the best of the best. So he's going to be a huge help to pushing the city forward and taking it to the next level. And then we also have another community member who decided, who reached out to me. She's been here forever, and that's Tsunami. And she's going to be helping us out with a lot of clothing stuff, car stuff as well. She's got a ton of experience in Photoshop and Blender and all that good stuff that I don't know anything about. So it's really good to have, our dev team is growing, our staff is growing, community is growing, everything's going in the right direction. Development. Things that are finished that will be put in the city over the next, 10 to 12 days is the legal marijuana script. It's done. I need to go in. There's a ton of configuration to do and get everything set up from that aspect and get the businesses open. So everyone should be very excited about that. I know it's something we've been talking about for months now. It's one of the most complex scripts that I've ever had to write / be a part of. Our developer Mo has been the one doing all the legwork on that. So it's gonna be, it's gonna be something that you guys have never seen anywhere because the in-depth attention to detail to the script. So it's gonna be awesome. That'll be coming out very shortly. Tattoos is completely done. The new tattoo system, it's actually been done for a little while, but I need to finish a couple other things from an integration standpoint in order to put it in the live server. One of those things is the clothing. So when you're a new character and you fly in the city and create your character, basically, that's getting a major update. And it's got all the integration with tattoos and stuff. That's done as well. And that'll be in shortly. And then paintball's finished. Again, I just got to go in and get everything loaded in, do the configuration. But as far as the script goes, that's all done. So those will be in the city in the immediate future. Things that are in development. Boat dealer, 90% done. That should be done by Tuesday at the latest. I'll probably finish it up on Monday. The tablet. I know I've been talking about the tablet just like weed forever. One of our developers, Moss, has been the one doing the tablet. He had some very unfortunate events take place. One, his computer died. He was 99% done with the tablet, and his hard drive, went out on him. So he had to start from scratch. That's why there's been a delay on that. That's 90% done. It should be done, by next week and in the city within 2 weeks at the most. The tablet is going to be huge for the city. It's going to start off with just the used car dealership using it, with the apps that we've created for them to streamline their business and not have to use 5 or 6 different scripts to kind of put everything together. It's all going to be one system. And then we are going to create more applications, possibilities, criminal stuff. It's going to be awesome. Think about the phone, only we have 100% control of it because it's ours. We built it. Housing. This is what tattoos and 5M or in the new character creation is waiting on. There was a massive overhaul with the housing script. I have minimal control of that because it's all locked, encrypted by 5M and the guy that made the script. The dev team did a massive overhaul in the script, so I'm working on getting everything set up again. There are going to be some changes as far as the stashes go, but we can go over that at a later time. So we're going to keep working on that, make sure everything is perfect before we implement it. There's a lot of database work I got to do, so it's going to be a process, but that is in the near future as well. Something our new developer, Inferno, is going to be working on shortly. And then fishing. Flexdown is making a custom fishing script. Again, it's going to be just like everything else we do custom. Attention to detail, functionality. It's going to be freaking awesome. It's going to be unlike any other fishing script you guys have probably ever used. So that's in development. He's working on that now. And then after he's done with that, we'll follow up with the hunting script. Again, we'll make it the best we can, and probably from a functionality and idea standpoint, the best out there. So those are 2 of the recreational things that are getting overhauled. And then another big one that affects the whole city is the EMS overhaul that I'm working on. It's a completely new script. It's going to control how people die, what you die from, just a whole bunch of stuff. The hospital interaction, the functionality of EMS and the ambulance job. So there is a ton of new, cool, awesome RP driven things behind that script. So we're working on that. I'm hoping to get that done by the end of the month. I'm not going to put a time frame on it. Once it is done, the Sandy Medical Center will open up, as well as Pillbox. A big complaint from EMS is that the current hospital is so far out of city that they don't get to have a lot of interactions with the community. And so they've requested that we bring back Pillbox, and we all know EMS is few and far between, so let's keep them happy. So we will be bringing back Pillbox as well. As far as the immediate stuff, that's everything. In terms of development, as we get ideas, we'll continue to make custom scripts for them. Criminal stuff, been 8.5 months and you guys haven't even figured out how to open the fucking door at Polito Bank. So there is a ton of crime out there that you guys just need to figure out, I guess. That's in the city, that's been in the city, that's, very rewarding. I will be bringing in 3 new heists soon. Kind of like we did with Bobcat and Warehouse. Those are side heists. Everything will have a purpose. So that's kind of, the hype for the criminal side. We'll be doing constant, reevaluation of drop rates, of loot, and all that good stuff to maintain a stable economy. And that's everything from the dev side. I'm really, really excited about these 2 new developers we got. They're awesome. They work. And it's just the next step forward, taking Horizon to the next level. So let me just go through my notes to make sure I didn't miss anything, and then we will start answering questions and get the city back up.
Yeah, I was going to get into the question on the casino. Not anytime soon. As Russ just said in the things, gambling breaks economies, and so it's going to be the least of our priorities.
I have another thing to talk about real quick, and I'll piggyback on the casino. As you all know, we use Phoenix Anti-Cheat. All you people, everyone that's been here for a while and that's in city every day, I'm sure you've seen a small to medium influx of, let me refrain, hackers. Okay? We catch them every time. If you're a hacker in this call right now, we'll fucking get you. I promise you. Ray is an absolute maniac when it comes to the logs. I mean, this man can track down what it takes 15 other staff members to do. He's just got a knack for it. I mean, the guy catches everyone. Inferno, our new developer, has extensive experience working with Phoenix and setting up Phoenix the right way. He is going to be working on that. So the amount of hackers and bullshit people coming in to spawn stuff and try to ruin the economy is going to die quickly. He's going to build a fucking iron wall around this place. I know it's really annoying when you're trying to do something and fucking 10 tugboats fall out of the sky on you because some loser got nothing better to do with their life. Again, it's annoying. It sucks. We're working on it. Inferno's going to lock it down. So we will keep those people out as best we can. We always catch them. And then another thing, too, that I forgot to mention is the inventory duping. I'm just going to say this now. Ray will fucking catch you. It might not be the first time. It might not be the second time. Ray will catch you. So stop doing it. It's not hard for us to find you. It's just there's a lot of people. We will fucking get you. Stop. Again, I'm going to refrain. I don't want to get canceled. Stop fucking doing it.
And I will also mention
there is a new inventory system that we're building that's going to get rid of all. Well, we're not building it. We're going to be implementing it. It's the new, the new thing in 5M, OX inventory. That's not new either, but they've done a ton of updates, and it's, the best of the best right now. That's going to be coming out soon, but it should stop all the exploiting And if anyone puts anything in your pockets that you never talked to before, you don't know what it is, just open a ticket. You know, that's it. And if it's something in the city and you're honest with us about it, there's a chance that Ray's like, you know what, you can just hold on to that, you know, SMG or whatever the fuck it is. Just
well, I'm just I'll just jump in on this as well.
yeah.
If there is someone in your friend group that is cheating, that is GP items, I will find them. If I find out that you've been happily taking that stuff from them and you haven't mentioned it and you thought, oh, that's a bit weird, but I'm not going to mention it because this is quite nice. That's not an excuse. I'm coming for you too. All right? So it's always best, be honest, because all this sort of this cheating or exploiting does, it breaks economy, makes the sort of like the server and other sort of economies essentially break, and that's not what we want. This place is doing exceptionally well. Let's not ruin it just so you can be like, oh, look at me in my flashy car, because you're gonna lose it. Trust me.
Yep. And you're gonna take down everyone with you that was involved in it. Lucifer just brought something up to my attention. It's just so boring. The rules have been the rules are updated. We just need to push them to the website. Should clarify some things that you guys might be a little confused about. Again, we try to be role play over rule play the best that we can. Things that we feel are obvious as can be, maybe because we're staff and we've been doing this for a while now, aren't obvious to other people. So Lucifer again has gone through the rules and kind of gave it a little bit of an overhaul, additions, some verbiage, lingo change. One thing I want to touch on, we talked about last community meeting when it comes to rules, is the rule of 5. The rule of 5 means you can only have 5 shooters. Okay? We are not limiting groups of how many people they can travel with. We expect that groups traveling in more than 5 have a plan. If you can't figure out how to have a plan, stay on the safe side, travel in 5. The plan is, and there's a great video of DRMC doing this in a meeting with another group. The second the guns shot, everyone who wasn't shooting with them put their hands up and ran. That's the rule of 5. In terms of any non-heist related topics. Heists. 5 is the max. People, not just shooting. You can only have 5 people. If you are running from the police and you go back to your compound so you can have more than 5 people, it will be considered power gaming and you will get banned for it. Rob a bank, get away, and then go home. Make a plan, be creative. There's too many times that I see certain groups hit a store, hit a bank, hit the jewelry store, and run to their fucking home with the cops on them. That's gotta stop. Lastly, and this is lastly, I promise. If a group is doing a heist, and you decide you want to grab 5 of your friends and go to the heist they're at and try to take the heist over from them for no RP reason, it will be considered fail RP, low quality RP, all the good stuff, and you will get punished. You should never be going to a heist just to be lazy, take their laptop or whatever the fuck the items are, kill them, and then start a heist. The only reason you should ever be going to a heist that there's another group starting doing whatever is you have a legitimate RP beef with them and you're going there to ruin their heist, not to take it over, right? Because by the time you guys have your little shootout and the cops show up, it is extremely low quality to then turn around and say, oh, these are my hostages now, and start the fucking heist. It's been happening more lately and it's gotta stop. Creativity and your RP is key. All right, well, we'll answer some questions now. We'll take like 10 minutes, and then we will get it back going. Where's this channel at? Let me see what I can answer.
All right, I did allow requests from everyone. to be able to come up on stage. So gonna start pulling people in here now.
Pulsey. So let me
Go ahead.
let me backtrack on that, Pulsey. You can contest a heist if it's 5:30 or if it's 30 minutes after and you pull up to a heist and another group's pulling up at the same time and has not started the heist yet. You can absolutely contest the heist. You both are going to the same place with intention to do the heist. What I'm talking about is the jewelry store has a guy doing thermite and 4 people standing out front with 3 hostages at gunpoint, and you roll up on the guy doing thermite, kill him, take his thermite, hit the thermite, go to the door, get inside, and then complete your heists, right? Or whatever the items you need. That's low quality. But contesting a heist where a group has not started yet is a different story. Also, camping heists with no hostages because you want to hit it right at 30 minutes is also low quality. Once the 30-minute mark hits, go find your hostages, go to the heist you want to do. Stop being lazy and powerful and only caring about money. Like RP, roleplay. All right, now you can do your thing, Russ.
All right. Bunny's first up in line here. I'm gonna bring her on in.
All right.
Hello.
All right, go ahead.
What's
Bunny.
up?
Anything? I wanted to ask about houses. Like, can we request houses if we find with the one we want to bring on market?
Like
there's so many-
MLOs?
No. If I find like open through see-through window see-through house and I want it on market, I wanted to buy it, but it's not on market yet. Can I request to bring it?
No. So housing zones open up based on a lot of things, but the reason we're not doing that is because it kills all the role play for realtors. It just becomes realtors make the house for you and then you buy it and that's it. Like realtors have a ton of role play behind what they're doing because we have the zones opening up the way we do. So you just got to wait for your zone to open up. The goal is to have the whole map open at a certain point. The other reason we're doing it by zones is because it encourages new players to work for something instead of coming into a city where all the people that have been here for a long time just have everything. It kind of controls that. Not to say that the people that have been here for a long time don't deserve to get what they want. They just have to wait for it if it's not in the zone opened up.
Yeah, but there's like tons of south side houses that nobody wants to buy and they keep flashing on the market over and over again.
Yeah, but maybe no one wants to buy them today, but in 3 weeks, if new people come in, tomorrow, and in 3 weeks or a month or whatever, save up, they're going to buy the houses. Zones aren't opening based on how many houses have sold. They're opening based on time. It's got nothing to do with how many houses are available in the current zones. It has to do with time. We just opened up, I think, Wheeler, correct me if I'm wrong, 4 new zones, like 2 weeks ago. Yes, Wheeler says yes. Yeah, 4 new zones 2 weeks ago. So in another 2 or 3 weeks, we'll open up 2 or 3 more, and we'll just continue to open them up. What's up?
Is it a house per realtor new house, or it's just like 1 or 2 houses maximum goes out on the market per week that are new?
Yeah, I mean that's by design.
It's one of those things that happens like in real life too. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
Sometimes the house you drive by and see isn't available to purchase.
Yeah, you just got to RP that someone lives there in the house that you like, and maybe they'll move one day. I'm sure if you RP it out with the real estate office in a zone that's opened, hey, can you try to convince this seller or this homeowner to sell their house? Like RP it all out, and there's no limitations on that as long as it's in the zone that's available. I'm sure all of the real estate office would love that RP in the first place. So
yeah, it kind of goes along with the car dealerships. If you have a car that you like and that isn't available in the city, we've kind of pushed people towards going and making that request with the specific car dealership. So that could be said the same for the housing as well. You know, if there's a house that opens up in this market, you know, blah blah blah. That's what the realtors are there for. The realtors aren't there, again, as with everything in the city. They're not there to be another mechanic. They're not there to just be a bridge to get you something. Like there's RP involved in that. So you know, go and speak with a realtor. I mean, people who go and buy a house, they pick a realtor. They go and pick a specific person in the city, like in real life. They hire a realtor. That realtor goes out and looks for stuff for them, and you know, maybe it can be worked out that way too.
Awesome. Yeah, because I was thinking about like the RP way to get it, or at least to bring it to the market, but I wasn't sure if it's gonna be the proper way. Go for it.
Yeah,
just
100%.
just go RP. Go, you know what I mean? Go talk to them, go speak with them. You'll get more information out of them than just waiting around too. You know what I mean? You'll be able to
Gotcha.
get some more
I
information and
got
stuff
some
like that.
ideas. I'll try them out.
All right,
Thank
cool.
you.
Perfect. Yep. All right.
Let's see.
I think Brooklyn's next.
Yep.
Hello.
What's up,
How you
Brooklyn?
doing?
Good. What's up? I just have a question. Is there any possible way that the PD can possibly get a raise, or there could be like a system implemented, like for example, like when they do like a traffic stop, you know how they bill them, or when they send them to jail, when they bill them, like they get a percentage of that pay?
That would create a lot of issues from the sense of maybe not all cops, but some cops would just abuse that.
I think that so PD's definitely not going to get a raise as far as the 20-minute check goes. They get paid the
Mhm.
highest in the city by far. You know, just from being on duty. I mean,
As
I'm
they
sure.
should.
Yeah, of course, and so does EMS.
Right.
I think that bonuses can be handed out. I don't know if you guys are if they're doing that now. I think this question would be more appropriate if we have a PD meeting and talk about it.
Okay.
Just in regards to, it's more RP related stuff. As far as function, like game mechanic goes, like I think, like Benny said, if you're getting paid a commission essentially for the stuff that you're, you know, not stuff for the charges that you're giving, it could turn into a money issue opposed to, you know, wanting to RP.
And
You
don't
know,
take this as gospel either, but this is just me speaking out loud, brainstorming. If there was a way to make it just traffic stops, you know, just speeding tickets and stuff like that, I personally think that would be able to work, because that, I think, promotes people being out, actually patrolling, and actually, you know,
instead of chasing
it's
pings.
yeah, that
Mhm.
slows down the ping chasing and stuff like that. You know, the bigger crimes and the heist crimes and stuff like that, I think would get a little ridiculous getting commission on those, since fines of those can be so high sometimes. But maybe something, and again, this is just me speaking out loud with 200 plus people in here. But yeah, maybe the traffic tickets and stuff like that. Maybe we could look into something like that, because now that it's mentioned, if it were specific to that, could be something, because those are small fines that you'd only get a little portion of. But
Yeah.
at the same time, it would force
Yeah.
people to be
A
out on
good-
patrol.
A good way though to RP that without having to do any script work would just be incentives from the police department. Hey, if
True.
you get X
True.
amount of traffic stops a month, you're going to get a $20,000 bonus. If you do X amount, you'll get a $40,000 bonus. Like, I think all that can be RP'd out.
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
through the city, opposed to having a mechanic
Right.
a game, because then also
Mainly happens
it's
in the
gonna
UK.
it's going to also push command and PD and high command to be more
Communicate and
involved
be
in
more- yeah.
the monitoring of those stops and stuff. I think they're great ideas, but I just think that they can all be implemented and done through
Role play
RP.
aspects.
Yeah.
And then Brooklyn too. I also saw your question about upping timers and stuff like that. The Vangelico, the way the math works out, the Vangelico has a 2-hour timer. So it's only going to be able to be hit twice or 3 times per tsunami. Because we have an hour, the half hour after tsunami and the half hour before tsunami hits, you got a full hour there. So we're talking about 7 hours. And so that gives you 3 times that thing can be hit at most for
I
Vangelicos
swear
specifically.
it feels like more.
Well, it's
Well,
because here's why.
It starts when you open the place.
It starts when the thermite goes. So if someone hits it at 6:30 and you guys are there for 40 minutes before anyone leaves, and then you go chase them for, or, you know, if they're there for 20 minutes before everyone leaves, and then you go chase them for 30 minutes, and then you got to process, and while you're processing, it gets hit again. It feels like, you know, it just happened.
It
But
does not feel like 2 hours though. Like it literally feels like 30 to 40 minutes. Like I'm gonna time it next time, but like there's been situations where we are there maybe 15 and they take off and we catch the people and then we're in the cells and then another one hits. And we're just like, what? And then you have a Fleeka going off, and then you have blah 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 going off, and it's just
So-
like, ah.
We can't. Here's the issue with that. We talked about this in the staff meeting because there's some police and staff.
Mhm.
I can't stop the city because there's not enough PD, which hasn't been the problem. So what I told PD is that's why we prioritize our calls, right? I don't want to go over priority in the community meeting, but you know, you're a cop.
Yeah.
If, you know, priority A is getting hit and priority B is getting hit and there's only 5 cops around, you're going to send 4 to A and 1 to B, right? And then if a couple stores are getting hit, the smaller stuff, it's just, you know, the luck of the draw. They get hit and we move on. But if I limit the criminal activity to the amount of cops, if I over limit it, then you're just going to have a bunch of criminals standing around like, what the fuck, this is boring. What am I going to do? You know? And I think the cop presence has been insane.
Been really good.
It's been
Yeah, it
so
has.
good.
I agree.
And we just want to keep seeing it grow. I think with opening BCSO, it's taken, you know, a lot of command members to BCSO, or, you know, a decent amount that opens up all those spots for LSPD to grow. And then BCSO will continue to take people over that want to transfer. And I just think if we let the snowball happen, it's going to build up. I think a lot of the crimes that happen outside of the city limits with BCSO out there, and they responding to those calls, is going to put less stress on LSPD. You know, there's nothing worse than the fucking store all the way up north past Polito getting robbed, and it's just LSPD.
You're
And
in
you
the
got to
city, yeah.
drive all the way, and by
then
the
when
time
you
you
get
get
there,
there,
you know, they're
no
gone.
one's going to
Yeah.
be there. Yeah,
It's pointless. Yeah.
so hopefully that helps as well, alleviate some of that pressure. Now that you're mentioning this, and it just came to my mind, it's a little bit off topic. Ramming police cars at high speeds so your buddy can get away with a $5,000 money bag in his pocket is low quality RP. I don't know if any of you have been in a car accident before, but go take your car 30 miles an hour and run into a pole and tell me how you feel afterwards. Hitting a car at a high rate of speeds is complete low quality roleplay, and every single clip that I see of it is going to be a problem for all you criminals out there that do it nonstop. Stop doing it. Brooklyn probably wouldn't have even have asked this question today if every time they get a Vangelico call, they're getting fucking rammed into a Bolivian for no reason.
That or being shot.
Right. Like, role play. All right.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
See you, Brooklyn.
See ya. All right.
I'm going to bring up Rex.
Yep. We'll do this for another 11 minutes.
Yeah, if you
And
guys
then we're
got
gonna start the
questions, feel free to come in. What's up, Rex?
It's another day. I had a quick question about whether, guys, you would take a community vote on it or have ever thought about implementing it. But forcing first person during shooting in a car?
It's so here's why we don't have it. It's extremely exploitable. No matter what script you use, no matter what script you build, because of GTA 5 mechanics, and there's zero way for us to know if someone's exploiting it. Does that make sense? So I can't. If you bring a ticket of someone in a car shooting you, I'll never be able to know their POV, their point of view. And all they can say is, "I'm just a really good shot." And then what do I do? There's just no possible way that. Trust me, I want to take shooting out of cars. I hate it. When I see 5 people in a car each fighting another 5 people in their cars, what are we playing, Rocket League with guns? It's so stupid.
Yeah, and I know
it's something we talked about from the very beginning, and that's been the reason for almost a year now when we first started putting this thing together. Was that
it's our old city it was in, and
I think all of us agreed on wanting to have it, but the overlying excuse for not using it is that we put something in like that, 1 or 2 people figure out how to exploit it and get out of it and go back into third person, and now they have the benefit of that, and there's no way for us, like Gabba said, there's just no way for us to even know or combat that at all.
All right, I gotcha.
All right,
I'll think of some other things though, Rex, because it is becoming a problem. Maybe I can
and I know it definitely
the rate of fire out of a car significantly.
Or just, I don't know if you guys have any type of random spread for firearms, or if it's a build pattern, have a way of increasing that while in a car.
We can increase it, but I mean, I don't know if you've ever shot a Tech 9 out of a car going 28 plus. You got a better chance of.
Yeah, I know PD. It really sucks when you're on the ground and being, someone drives by, fires 2 shots, backs up. There's nothing you can do. I'm sure gangs on the defense feel the same thing. If another gang decides to roll up on you while you're walking around, there's nothing you're going to be able to do.
Yeah, we all have a certain feeling about fighting out of your car in a car that's why we've blacklisted some vehicles from even being shot out of. There's things like that. We all have our own personal feelings on the beauty, quote unquote, of reversing. Seeing 2 cars reverse back into each other so they can shoot out the back window. It's something that we don't appreciate. We don't really like seeing any of that. So
a couple of things I want to bring up actually, just in terms of we talked about exploiting in power gaming as a whole, but specific things. There may or may, like in our rules, we talk about power gaming and exploiting, right? We're not going to go in there and talk specifically about every single one.
Yeah.
You may come from like a 100k or die server, or you may have played in arenas, and playing dumb with, I didn't know that car doesn't take damage from the rear, and you're quite clearly abusing mechanic. I'm not going to make a list of a full list of blacklisted vehicles, especially when we bring in custom ones like that. Things like lubes that are bulletproof. Don't be stupid.
Zentorno, Infernus.
And we've done testing on the Louveres and stuff like that too. So we know which ones are bulletproof with them on it. That's why we've allowed them to be on some of the vehicles, because we have gone back in and tested putting those Louveres on and doing everything like that. So that's why the 390 or the 350, we've said that you can. I don't remember which way they go now, but I think we did allow them on the 350 because they're not bulletproof on the 350, but. I think on the Jester, they are bulletproof on the Jester, so we don't allow them on the Jester. It's things like that we do check and make sure. So we know. We do know.
All right. I'm gonna
moving along here.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rex. Appreciate you, brother.
All right. I'm gonna bring in Fraser.
Yeah.
Hello. I have a question. I'm sure that there's already been several tickets about it, but with the locals and how they drive, it's gotten significantly worse. I don't know if it's because of the increase of the server or whatnot, but sometimes, you'll be driving and then all of a sudden a semi truck will fall out of the sky and block an entire road. It's just, I don't know. It's just kind of.
That's a
kind of
client.
artifacts.
Well, not even that. It's a client sided with desync, right? So that unfortunately will happen more frequently to people with less powerful computers. Yeah, it's all desync, right? And as far as optimization goes in the server, I can tell you guys this, and I know people have said, oh, maybe the server's not powerful enough in support before. When the server's at full capacity, the CPU usage of the server is at about 5%, and the memory usage is about 4%. This server that we're on is the most overkill thing I could have ever done for FiveM, right? I could run 175 people 5M servers off of this server that I have, and there would be no issue with the server whatsoever. So the server is very, very overpowered for what it needs to be. Optimizations in the scripts is at a very high level. And when something isn't optimized, I figure it out and we fix it. The one thing we have no control over is desync. It's just FiveM. You could be getting shot at. I mean, it happened to me yesterday. I died from someone shooting at me. I was way out of their POV in my eyes, but in their eyes, they could still see me. So it's all desync.
And in terms of civilians driving, so like PEDs locals, that's actually based on FiveM. So it was like a big thing in NoPixel about a year ago, where everyone was kind of like, "What the fuck is going on with the locals?" That's behavior that is from FiveM artifacts. We have no control over that.
Yeah, so you guys will notice, maybe 3 months ago the PEDs were acting normal, and then I updated the server artifacts because you have to, and PEDs are going nuts again. It's just like a cyclical cycle of what FiveM does in their server artifacts, which again is out of our control, unfortunately.
Yeah, I just feel like that needed to be asked because I'm sure you guys are fucking overloaded with tickets because of it. So.
Oh yeah,
it's.
I can tell you guys this, that 85% of bug tickets are client-sided things.
Yeah.
That
whether it be internet or hardware.
Yeah, hardware, internet, computer connection. Like there's a ton of different things. A lot of people have connection issues. We run the server through path.net. It's a very, very good DDoS protection. They have, so many layers that you guys have to get through to connect to the server. If you live in a country that has very, strict or not strict at all ISP regulation, you might have problems connecting. There's a community member, I'm not going to out him, but he lives in Luxembourg. And I mean, we've been trying to fix his shit for
5 months.
Longer than that. I mean, since the server opened. And the constant story is that his ISP tells him it's not them. And of course, my ISP tells him, hey, it's not us. Here's the tracer route. Here's, the reports. So it's just a constant battle. So things like that, again, it sucks. It happens to individuals. I hate that it happens. I wish there was something I could do about it. But the overall outlook is I got 5,000 people to protect. If one person's having these issues, I'll take one person having the issues to not get DDoSed every fucking 20 minutes like we did when we first opened the city. So yeah, the connection stuff and the desync is just something that we don't have too much control over, unfortunately.
All right. Well, thank you so much for answering. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. All right.
Mr. Richard Sharp.
Hey, yo.
What's up, buddy? Good.
So this is more of like a statement rather than a question, but it's kind of off of the ramming that you were talking about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Just the idea that, we're all coming into the server to have fun. especially as like a cops versus criminals thing. The criminals and the cops, like it's supposed to be a 50-50 scenario. Like we're not, like you want to try and make it as fun for all parties involved. You don't want to try and stomp on everybody else's roleplay. It's like everybody's coming in here for fun. We're not here to kind of slave over other people's roleplay. And just like an example, I keep running into like people on traffic stops and stuff, and like for the first 2-3 minutes, like it's like cracking open a like Houdini's fucking chest or something. Like trying to get people to roleplay is half the battle. But like once I crack that chest open, like we usually have a lot of fun. You get like stupid little stories for traffic stops, but otherwise it's just like one word replies, like I just want to get this over with. You're fucking up the rest of my day. Like just get out of my face kind of thing. And it's just it's demoralizing constantly coming up to people and having like a scenario that would only really take 5 minutes and just be like a back and forth, like quick off traffic stop turn into a like just like
a shootout.
show
Yeah,
or
you're-
shootout, or you got like
100%
6 gang
right.
members like hoarding you. You got like
Yeah,
7 Collins. Like, it's too much.
It's dumb.
It's excessive.
You mentioning the time that it takes it brings back all my memories of being a cop here for the first 6 months. It was that was always my go-to too. Like, man, this could have been over in 10 minutes, but now we're on a 40-minute chase. Now people are getting
Shooting
shot at.
guns,
Like,
yeah.
it's just take the time to do it. There's
One of the
something
best
else I
role
wanted to
players
say.
in scenarios as well. I mean, and like in terms of sort of like the cop and civ,
That's what it was.
the cop and civ like relationship, like cop and criminals like relationship. What we all have to remember is like it can turn toxic by by doing the whole. They did this, so I'm going to do that. Be the better person because it breaks the fucking cycle. If you're doing something as equally as bad, you're not helping the situation. Okay, if someone is breaking rules, or you believe they're breaking rules, bring to staff. If they're breaking SOPs, follow the police side of it. It's role play. Follow the role play.
Yep.
Well, the thing is too is I don't think I see a lot of these situations. I've seen them from both sides, and I've seen it from a staff point of view as well, obviously. But it's one of those things where I don't think the criminal side understands how lenient cops usually are during things until something negative happens, or until something um, silly or stupid happens to them, where it flips a switch in the cops that are on that chase. They could be very lenient. They could, not put cuffs on you as soon as you get on the ground. They could tase you once and let you get back in your vehicle. And I don't think a lot of people in the moment take that time to say, man, he could have just cuffed me up and had me in his car by the time they allowed me to get back into my car to continue a chase. Now, that's not to say that things don't happen the opposite way as well, but it's just one of those things that I don't think people realize how lenient cops can be during these situations, and then take advantage of that later on down the road, whether it's within the same chase or a different chase. Everything should be different. Every chase should be new. I know it's difficult because, especially as police, you guys see the same thing over and over and over and over again, every tsunami, every storm, every day. And it can get monotonous, especially when there's not a whole lot of effort from the other side. So, yeah, I think all this stuff is good to talk about. And it's always good to at least somebody from, the police standpoint or the criminal standpoint mention something during these things. But I've seen it get better. I've seen it be. I think it's in a pretty decent spot at the moment. It's definitely. I'll say that it's definitely been worse in past months. But I think as the numbers continue to go up for PD, I think that's one of the biggest things that we've seen as a staff team is and get really happy about is the amount of police that we see constantly throughout the whole day now. Where we used to have big gaps in some of these
Massive
times. Yeah, we would have massive gaps, especially during the middle of the night or whatever else. But it's gotten a lot better. I mean, there's been multiple days where we've had 30 plus cops on. So it's good to see. These conversations are always good, and as Gabba tells the cops too. I don't know if I should be this transparent, but the police is probably the largest group in the city that we get the least amount of tickets from. Um,
We get no
And-
tickets from the police, and it drives
Yeah.
me fucking insane.
Yeah.
They're the ones
we
I
know-
want to get more tickets from, because you know they fester they fester and build up their anger over time,
Right.
and then it explodes, and then we got issues, right?
And then we got LOAs, and we have people not showing up to be cops. So yeah, that goes without saying that we need it from both sides. What we don't see, we can't
fix or
prosecute.
address.
We can't take any kind of action against something that we don't see or we don't know is going on. You know, words only go so far, and that's not to say we don't trust people, but at the same time, we don't trust people.
Yeah,
Things-
we got to see it.
We just got to see it. So, anything else, Richard? I know that probably got a little off topic from what you were mentioning, but
No, you
brings up other things.
pretty
All
much
right,
covered
perfect.
it. But I
Thank
just
you,
wanted
brother.
to- yeah, just give a little and you get a lot for
Yep.
PD especially.
Yep.
Don't be,
100%. 100%.
Don't be so aggro.
Appreciate it, brother.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna wrap it up. If you're waiting to ask a question, sorry we didn't have time to get to you. Feel free to jump in support after the meeting, and we will try to help you out the best we can. City's gonna go up at 6:30 on the dot. That way, everyone gets a fair chance to get in and snipe the queue, as you guys call it.
I'll actually stay in here and answer you guys. There's only 4 more in this thing, so if you guys leave, go ahead. But I'll stay
That's
and
fine.
answer your questions.
Yeah, we can do that. Absolutely.
Okay.
Could I do a quick EMS announcement for everybody? We at the moment, EMS doesn't have a way of notifying you guys that we are on our way to your call. So please, for a little bit until we have that functionality back, just be a little extra patient with us. We will, if we're on duty, we will get there. So just kind of be a little extra patient with us instead of trying to figure out a way to contact your friends and get you to the hospital or something like that. But
Cool.
That's all from me. Quick.
Yeah, like I said, if you guys want to leave, I'm gonna bring these last 4 or 5 up on stage, and then I'll answer you guys' questions, or whoever's up here will do it, and yeah, we'll go from there. What's up, Cora?
Hello? Yeah. So I was just kind of wondering, when it comes to shooting through the vehicle in general, are we able to shoot like outside the window? Like, is that a implement that's gonna be coming to the city in general?
Like hanging out the windows, shooting?
Yeah, instead of just shooting while sitting in, yeah. Like like your butt on top of the like window portion, or like body just hanging out.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I think it's gotten brought up before. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have an exact answer for you on that. It could be something we talk about. But
Okay.
I guess that would be a way to combat what we talked about earlier, but at the same time, I don't know if
It also just promotes more
more drive-by
shooting, which
type of stuff.
we want to get away from.
Yeah, because even that, you're in third person still anyway, and it would make sense to me for that to work. You'd be allowed to be shooting your two-handed weapons that we have that you can't shoot out of vehicles, so it's going to probably expand on the the different weapons that you can shoot out of a car, which obviously you can't do all of them at the moment. It's if you're holding a weapon with one hand, you can shoot that out of a car, but any of the bigger two-handed weapons, you're not going to be able to shoot out of the car. So, like I said, don't have a definite answer on that, but can be brought up and talked about, and we can look for other things
Okay.
for car shooting. But yeah, like Benny said, I think that just promotes more. Again, hanging out of the window is pretty. It would definitely be a risk reward thing, because not
100%, yeah.
not only now do you not have the car protecting you at all, but you're hanging out the window, you're swerving and everything else. So yeah, like I said, it'll be a deeper conversation for the staff team. I don't have an exact answer for you, but yeah, we can have that conversation about trying to find other avenues to go down for that.
Okay, but perfect.
All right, brother. All right, man.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. All right, I'm gonna bring Vogue up.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, how's it going?
Hi, I'm good. So just like a couple things, so like when you get arrested and stuff, like honestly, like the time is like a lot, and I just feel like I don't know, can there be like a faster way of like getting like a reduction of like being inside the prison? Like the time is just so long. Like you're
Yeah,
literally
there's a
spending like
there's a
ages in there.
This is going to be something which I think the PD, once the SOPs are written for the community service,
Yeah.
that'll make a difference. Whether depending on the crime, etc. Like if
Yeah.
there's going to be something done about, it, and I think community service is going to sort of bring a different dynamic for
100%.
punishments. So.
Yeah.
And another thing I will say too is, using lawyers helps a lot. In
Yeah,
some
it does.
scenarios, depending on what kind of crime you did. There's been times where I've seen lawyers, get huge reductions for people because they RP'd, and it just, there's so many
Yeah.
different avenues you can go to get some time reduced.
Mhm.
Even being quote unquote nice to the cops can help them without a lawyer, give you
Mhm.
20% off your time and fine. And
Mhm.
it's just one of
And
those things that, not to be an asshole, if you do the crime, you do the time,
No, like
that's part of role
100%.
play.
And this is something that comes up, I think, with every community meeting because new batches of people come in, and there's a lot to do in that prison. I think we've said this every time this has come up, and like I said, it's pretty much a question that comes up or it gets mentioned every so often once a new batch of people come around. But it's
Mhm.
something there. I mean, there's times where it may look like you've got a lot of time, and you go around and you do a few jobs, and that time goes
Mhm.
by real quick. There's a whole economy system in the prison. There's a tons of things to do in the prison that will get your time down too. So I just want to throw that out there as well.
Is there like a possible way of like implementing, like, for example, a job to, how can I explain this? So like you take the ingredients, for example, like cooking, like is there a way to like speed up the process, because criminals can get up to like 290 months, and that's a long time.
But when
Yeah,
you do
like
jobs in prison, it
like I
reduces the
said,
time.
you do jobs in
Yeah.
prison and it reduces your time. Yeah.
Yeah, but like, doing the jobs, like the time of how long it takes, can it be faster to be done?
Well, I mean, that counts towards your initial time as well while
Yeah,
you're
so
doing it.
you're really
So,
double dipping. So not only do you get 8 months off or whatever the time is off for completing the job, it's taking time off as you're doing it.
Yeah,
All right.
Okay.
I'm very strict on the times and fines
Yeah.
because if you
Yeah.
make it just so you just go for 40 months for fucking shooting a cop, it's just gonna be no one's ever gonna think about their decisions. They're just
Mhm.
it's just gonna turn into less role play and more GTA Online. To be honest with you, I think the times and the fines are too short personally, but I got to have a happy medium, right? I mean, and you're speaking to someone that when I get caught for some reason, I don't know if it's like a little jab at me because I own the city, I get fucked when it comes to time. There's no other way to put it. I'll be with 5 people, we'll all get caught, and all my friends or my group will get 100 months, and I'm looking at 270, 250, 240, and I just go with it. It's RP. But
Mhm.
yeah, I just, there's so much to do in prison that no one ever tries to figure out because it's just like, oh, I got to go to prison now. It's a punishment that reduces the
Yeah.
time, can generate a lot of money. Meta, no meta. And, there's just,
Yeah.
yeah.
But it's just like you don't have like a phone, like you can't do 911. Well, that would be a thing. Implementing like a 911 system to like call cops to go to prison to do like community service. Like that would be a good way to promote a bit more RP inside the
Well,
prison.
That's all being implemented.
there's community service now. It's just got the SOP's got to get finished on it, and then we'll be.
Can we have like a working 911 system in prison or something like that?
What would you want out of that? I don't know. Follow me. Why you would need 911 if you're in prison?
In case like someone like inmate like threatened you or something. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of like ways to implement RP. I don't know.
Maybe like an emergency button. But again, it's like one of those things where it'll probably just get abused. People will hit it to set the cops up. The cops will come to try to RP, and then they'll just.
We got to get the city into the progressional point where we actually have the people for a DOC.
Yeah, that's really the big thing. Is the next thing could be a Department of Corrections.
There's
That'd
a
be
lot of
fun.
things
like,
that sound really good, and then when you put it on a larger scale, there's 100 people that will abuse it.
Can we have like a one
just the
phone
way
call
of
into our prison?
violent.
That'd be great.
I mean,
You can
there's
call.
phones.
Yeah,
If
you
you
can
know
call
somebody's
from
phone
prison.
number, you can use the phones in there and call them. And there's a visitation room, so if people know you're in jail, they can come and visit you. But there is phones in that
But-
visitation room. You can call people. You just have to know their
Oh,
phone
is
number.
that?
Yep.
Oh. Okay.
All right, cool. Appreciate it. I'm gonna get to these
No
other
problem.
few people.
Mhm.
Enjoy.
Thank you. Thanks.
All right, Marty.
Yo, what's up, guys? I just have a question because you guys talked about blacklisted car earlier, and
Yeah.
I was just gonna ask about like roll cages and like, because it's kind of I never like heard any answers about it. Like I've heard one answer about it. And that's it.
So put it like this, right? If a item is blocking any damage, like for example, the louvers, right? We always talk about the louvers. It's just one to talk about because it's one that's very obvious, right? If someone is behind the vehicle or wherever that spot is where it's blocking damage, where quite clearly your head is visible and the bullets hit your head and you're not taking damage, and you're abusing that, that is power gaming.
Oh, okay, I get it. So if
So if you want to test them yourself, or anything like that, I'm not going to go through and test all of them because there's a lot of cars in the city. But yeah,
It comes to a point where you know which cars are cars you shouldn't be using in situations like this.
yeah,
The
so
people that get into these car fights know exactly which cars they are, and you know it's very evident on clips when people know which cars they're using. It's just one of those things that, like we said before, we can't go through the rules and just add every little detail to every little rule. Otherwise, we're going to be making rules for days on end. It's just like the people
racing
that
fast is common
are
sense.
constantly in those cars using that stuff know what they're doing. As much as they want to say they don't, it's just one of those things that we know what's going on.
When you enter a gunfight in a furnace, backwards and reverse, we know you know what you're doing. That's pretty much it. And that doesn't
yeah,
just go for that car, but there's a short list of them.
because the roll
So-
cages don't really have any use like in type of like racing, you know, like they
No,
don't.
they're visual until they're blocking bullets.
So
So-
if someone's
doesn't-
like
it's not like that
using
on
them,
every
they
car
should hop
either.
out their cars to shoot, right?
I mean,
No.
I'd love to watch more people hop out of their cars to shoot.
Yeah. Thank you about that.
Just
thank
on
you for
a
clarifying.
general statement. Yeah, of course. Appreciate it, Marty.
Yeah, thank you guys.
All right, I got one
Yeah.
more.
And before they ask the question, I'm just going to say a quick one.
I just had like genuinely.
Hold on, real quick, Jackson.
One sec. Just what I saw a question earlier. No, we do not take payments for people that
anything.
have one of one cars.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. No.
All right, go ahead, Jackson.
Just one quick question: are parachutes like a thing in the city? Because I feel like that could escalate.
Without telling you,
Well, I've
find out in
asked
the
around,
city.
but I've never
Yeah.
like, yeah.
I'll
Okay.
tell you what.
Alright, I
Ask the EMS. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Just to end this quickly, yes, they're out there.
All right.
All right.
That's it, man. You guys have a good one.
Yeah, you too,
You
brother.
too, brother.
All right, thanks guys. That's everyone that's up here. So appreciate you guys all coming. We're gonna leave that text channel open for a little bit, and you guys can answer more or ask more questions in there. But appreciate you guys all coming.
Yeah, any vehicle questions? I'm going to be in support room for the next half hour. Any questions? Come then. And if you don't, oh shit.
All right, appreciate it, everybody. Gabba, anything else to close it out?
No, that's it, guys. Have fun in the city.
Appreciate it. See you guys.
All right.